I'm recording to this computer. Oh yeah,
Good.
did I ever share my DeLoreans with you?
No.
Oh, I
Please
found these.
do. I'll take all the DeLoreans you have.
Well, they're tiny, but I found these at the 7-Eleven about a year ago, and I was like, oh, I can't not get those, which are just these you know, just randomly was the Back to the Future. This
Oh
was Back
yeah.
to the Future 3 car where it's refit in the back and it's got like
Right.
it doesn't have tires and it's got the I got the Back to the Future 1 car. There's no point in buying the Back to the Future 2 car because it only has like a Mr. Fusion there instead of whatever
Yeah.
was there in the first place. So, but yeah, you
Let
see
me
those, you have to buy them.
yeah, I just got a really good kit. It was non-licensed. Or not, I don't know if it was non-licensed. That's not true. It was not Lego. Um and it was just a P-51 kit right here. And let's see. I'm on Teams all the time, so to share, green button.
Ah,
Um, may I share, sir?
allow. Is this Microsoft Teams?
This is yeah, I use Teams a
Okay,
lot.
I don't. It's
So
just every time I turn on the work computer, it comes up with that, and I have to like shut it
yeah.
down. So that's my
So
experience with Teams turning it off.
gotcha. So yeah, I made that out of a kit, and it was a nice little kit, man. It really was. Um, and it was I'm trying to see, I think I took a picture of the either the box or something, maybe not. And that's my wife making her practical magic house from
Ah,
that
okay.
that series.
See, I'm about to do my
So
first time
not
with Hocus
series.
Pocus for a movie, right? I'm
Yeah.
about to do my first time with Hocus Pocus. I've never seen that before, so and that's for Halloween, of course.
Yeah, she
The ha
uh
the
she she
Halloween,
she loves she loves her witch A movies.
yeah, the Halloween
Um
lineup this year for podcasting is Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town, a Disney Channel movie from the late
you know
70s.
what? I had friends over here for Halloween Town with their kids are a little younger than ours, and in the backyard, beautiful October night, projector up against the back of the house, popcorn, blankets, little campfire off to the
Okay.
side, s'mores. These kids freaked out and needed to go home.
Ah, I didn't know this movie. I didn't know this movie existed until last week. So
Yeah, there's Halloween Town High, Return to Halloween
I
Town.
saw it's a franchise, but yeah, Hocus
Yeah.
Pocus Halloween Town, maybe Halloween 3. I just threw out to the films with Phil's crowd.
Mm.
Maybe we should do a Halloween movie, and
Yeah.
Mark took it literally and just
Yeah.
suggested Halloween, the
Halloween
one without Michael Myers.
3.
That has
Yeah.
no. That's
Well,
the one without Michael Myers. Yeah,
okay, because they sort of went down the road of attempting kind of an anthology series.
that
Like,
was Halloween 3. Yes.
yeah, okay.
So, which does have a notable cult following because of that reason, because it's the one where
Right.
they did try doing something different. And
Yeah.
some people are like, if you're not into Michael Myers, you're like, ah, yeah, this one. So I haven't seen the Halloween movies. I haven't even seen the first one. I've seen most of John Carpenter's movies, but I have not seen Halloween. So that's like the one I haven't seen that or Assault on Precinct 13. I have seen Dark Star many times.
Yeah.
And then the thing I didn't see until about 3 or 4 years ago,
I
which
saw the thing in the theater with my dad, which was so random. Like such a like what, that came out like 1980, so I was like
Yeah,
12.
81. So it
Yeah.
was in the early 80, 82. It's one of the, because so many iconic flop
Yeah, oh
sci-fis
yeah,
came
yeah,
out in
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
1982.
right. That's right. Because it was in Scott Mance's documentary about 1982. If
Yeah,
you've seen
yeah.
that, it's good. Yeah.
I read a book. Did he write that book? I don't know. I read a book. It was this pause thing. It was going through all the sci-fi flops of 1982, all of which have become like iconic
Flops.
because
Yeah.
because that was a flop. The Thing was a flop.
Right.
People hated that
The
movie
thing was
for
a flop. Yeah, yeah, that is true.
years. Blade Runner was a flop. I mean, now it's like
Yeah.
Blade Runner, but it didn't do well in the theater. So.
Yeah, I know. And when they made Blade Runner 2049, like the exact same number of people went to see it in the movies.
And I thought I like that movie better.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I never totally loved Blade Runner, maybe because Harrison Ford's too grumpy or something. I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, I'm not gonna crap on
I
it,
get it.
but yeah. Oh, it looks
Yeah.
like Halloween 3 is coming through in the chat here. Okay. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. In Blade Runner's pacing, and I like most Ridley Scott. I'm usually very down with Ridley Scott. So
that's the
Blade
issue.
Runner's like
Yeah, that's
I appreciate this movie, but like Alien,
yeah.
I'm in for Alien like any day of the week, you
Yep.
know. But yeah,
Yeah, it's
something
it's
about
the, it's
Blade
the
Runner,
pacing.
It must be the pacing because obviously everything in the movie looks amazing, right? So
Hmm.
it's got Edward Jane Olmos. I mean, there's so many things in that movie that's great. So,
Yeah, I like it, man. Just you and me tonight. Anybody else joining us?
no, no, this one's for Time Enough podcast.
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah, I am getting the other guys currently bopping in with notifications, which is why I'm slightly distracted. But it's not the proper
that's
choice
okay.
either. So.
Yeah, the continuation of the Rod Serling films
Yeah, we're almost
and
finished
other
with the
work.
films. It's this, and then we are doing The Man, which features Darth Vader. Geez, why am I forgetting his name?
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, that's right. I
Okay.
that again. I'm like, why am I forgetting his name? You know,
Yeah. Because then I always forget if David Prowse.
because I just said Edward James Olmos. That's fine. It broke my brain to say James Earl Jones.
I could not think of Michael Clark Duncan. Is that right? Michael,
Yeah,
the
yeah. There
Green
we go.
Mile. Yeah, and I kept wanting to say Chad Michael Murray, and I was in a van with other flight crew the other day. We're just talking about movies, and I'm like, not Ving Rhames, Chad Michael Murray. No, I know that's not right.
Don't have
Um,
three names. Just don't have three names. Go one name. Go Sting. Go Madonna. That's easiest. Oh, I do have to read Luke's last comment here, which is Halloween 3 is the this is an anthology series actually one, right? So, yeah, it looks like
that's
that will
it.
be our Halloween movie. We were gonna do a Bollywood movie, but I was
Yeah,
like,
because
I had
because
to, I had
Hollywood
to,
too.
I had to delay a recording. I was like, oh, why don't we just put a Halloween movie
Yeah,
in? Because that makes sense for Halloween.
that 100% does. I'm trying. I got to go back. You said you haven't seen any Halloween movies.
I might have seen H2O in the theater, but if I did, I was probably
That makes
really
sense.
stoned.
Yeah.
Late 90s, man.
Don't tell anybody. They might hear you on the
They might hear
internet.
me, man.
Well, that's cool, man. Yeah, I saw. I know. Yeah, because they were all like basically like high school slasher age. Whatever opened on Friday night. That was
That's what I mean.
was was where I
Was in
would
the
be.
late
Yeah,
90s,
yeah,
and then oh, and then like it was 2008, I guess 2009, about
uh-huh,
that period. Our friend
yeah.
was the manager at a theater, so actually Mark and I would just go and see like every single movie for free.
Oh, that's great.
So we just walked into Shutter Island. I only think I knew it was a Scorsese movie walking in. So
Yeah,
great movie. Underrated? Does Shutter Island have its due? I don't know. I feel like people like that movie now.
I don't know that it gets poo-pooed, but I don't think it has. I don't think it's as well known as it should be.
Better than Hugo. I'm gonna throw that out. I
Yeah,
mean, Hugo's okay, but
yeah.
that's basically the screaming at children in the movie. So
Mm-hmm.
don't like that. Prefer Shutter Island, which is gaslighting Leonardo DiCaprio the movie.
Yeah, that's fair though.
I can live with that. Let's take a flight. I was gonna make a joke that I'm flying next week, but I guess you fly all the time, so yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I feel, it's funny. I was when I sat down because I realized I had 24 hours after the completion of my trip to file a report for something that happened on day two of a 3-day trip that I just finished yesterday, which was nothing. We have not an automated system, I shouldn't say, an automatic system that detects other airplanes close to us and sort of extrapolates if their path is going to get within a certain distance. It's actually based on time. If the closest point of approach gets within a certain number of seconds, it'll tell us to do something: climb, descend, monitor. So we just got a level off the other day as we were on a visual approach into Denver. We
aha.
were right where we
You
were
weren't gonna
supposed to
blow
be.
up. Yeah.
But I thought the movie actually made me thought of it. I was like, oh God, I got to fill out that report. So it took like 5 minutes. Yeah, no, it was just we were like on a 10-mile final, and I just had to level off for about 30 seconds. And then kind of, hustle to get down, which we did, and we got down just fine. We want to be stabilized by 1,000 feet above the ground, which we were. But it was just sort of one of those annoying things where it's like level off, level off, level off.
You just
And
put
I'm
an
like,
exclamation point on there. That's what needs to happen.
like I'm so the FO told the tower, he was like, "Hey, we're getting a resolution advisory, it's called, and we need to level off." The guy said, "Are you still going to be able to continue the approach?" And he looks at me. I was like, "I'll tell you in about 30 seconds." I mean, That's about all these things last. So by the time it was over with, um, we were still in a position to be able to get down and land without a problem. And the guy was like, "You still gonna be able to get down and land?" And I was like, "Yeah, tell him we're good." And the co-pilot was like, "Yeah, we're good." And then tower decided to slow us down, which means you got to bring the nose up, and it kind of like reduces your descent rate, which was kind of the key metric to being able to get down. And I was like, tell him if he slows us down, then we're not going to be able to get down. We're going to have to go around. And he was like, yeah, just do your best.
Don't crash the thing.
So it was fun. So we basically just did the speed we needed to do to get down while still extending landing gear and flaps and things like that.
I was about to say I've not been to Denver. I have been to the Denver airport for a connection though, and I did go out
Nice.
of security
Yeah.
to see all the weird crap there. Uh,
Dang.
I always
That's
like, I didn't even
bold.
know about the weird crap. I had like a
Yeah.
2 hour layover, so I
Yeah,
like
it's not
just
the getting out of security that's weird. It's the getting back into security. Oh, so you were going for the whole
I was
for the
flying
whole
to
urban legend Denver airport
no, this
things.
was 2002, 3, two,
Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
2004. Anyway, the point is they hadn't changed the weirdest stuff yet. It was all there in
Right.
2004. I didn't
Okay.
know about the urban legend conspiracy theories, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just like, I have like 2 hours layover. I might as well just look around the place, right? So for
Yeah.
whatever reason, being a young dumb guy who was like, I did leave security and getting back in was
Hmm.
slightly annoying. It wasn't that. It was yeah, it wasn't that bad. But
Right.
yeah, I saw the horse. I'm like, I saw the murals and never had heard of them before. This was my first time even knowing about
It's
them.
funny because like this showed up like I've been flying in and out of Denver International since it opened in 94, 5, 6, whatever that was. And very recently, like within a matter of months, somebody was like, yeah, the city of Denver, like all the people are just kind of like really like leaning into this, all the legends around Denver airport. I'm like, what? And he just told me a little bit about it, and I'm still not sure I get it. Just like weird iconography and
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know
oh, oh.
yeah.
If you want to scratch that itch and look at the weirder parts of the internet, there are you'll get into people like there's underground skyscrapers near Denver Airport and stuff. Like it gets weird. Um,
Yeah.
it's fun to look into that stuff. I want to read people about the flat Earth and the ice wall around us as an article. I mean, I want to
Hmm.
read this. Just have to be careful because one of my first big ones was I think Paul McCartney is still alive at least at this point. But I do like
Oh,
reading
so you
Paul
don't
is
believe
Dead stuff.
the Paul is dead rumors
Oh, but I'm
from
very well versed in all of them because I
oh
find
yeah.
that fascinating. And there's a
Right.
website that I would checked out 10 years ago and it was fun. And then I didn't go for a few years. And then I came back and looked and it still has like a picture of Paul at the top, a little like
Hmm.
Sergeant Pepper style banner. The 30 most recent articles were all like insane anti-Semitic stuff. I'm like, okay, they lost the
Yeah,
plot.
no, that's enough. Don't want this
I
on my
came
on my
I came
feed.
here for I came here for incorrect Beatles trivia. I didn't come here for that.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy. But
somewhere they decided that Paul McCartney was murdered and by the deep conspiracy. I'm like,
yeah,
you
because
lost the
they were
fun.
yeah they were still angry about his war protesting in 1980.
Yeah,
Who knows? Yeah,
that's
Paul
Lynn
McCartney
in
just
that case
just
who
kicked
did
off
get shot.
the not Get Back, Got Back, the
Got
Got Back
back.
tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the Who that had the one that was like the song "It's Over," right? They're like, okay, we're getting too old for
Yeah,
this
yeah.
shit.
So not my first concert because I was 15, so probably maybe my third or fourth concert was the Who's farewell tour at Shea Stadium in 1982, opened up by the Clash, and it was a blast.
Ooh,
And then they got back together at Live Aid, and I was like, now it's 40 years later, and it's their
yeah.
farewell tour.
They haven't had Keith Moon for a while.
Yeah,
What was my
and I
first
got to see
concert?
him. I got to see him in desert at Acrisure Arena in Palm Springs, Palm Desert. I'm not sure. Six of one, half dozen the other.
When they said it
Great
wasn't
show,
your
a lot of fun.
first. My first concert was a Sonic Youth, and I couldn't hear for 4 days after. So that's fun.
Nice.
Lost my hearing for like 4 days after that band.
Nice. My
Uh,
first concert is very kind of off-brand for the kind of music I like and maybe the part of the country I'm from, but it was
oh,
definitely a
nice.
product of its time.
Basic
Um,
Brothers. I'm just guessing.
the Charlie Daniels Band.
Okay, well, I am from
Yeah,
Georgia, so
right.
we hear about them sometimes.
Because yeah, from the coast of Little Long Island, where I'm from. I'm sorry, the
Okay.
sound of Little Long Island out to San Francisco Bay, and everything that in between us is our home. And we'll all stick together. And you can take that to the bank. That's the cowboys and the hippies and the
You got
rebels and the Yanks. So I kind of like that kind of cohesiveness again. Bring back some CDB, man. Sadly we lost Charlie Daniels a few years ago.
I only learned 2 or 3 years ago that my parents' house, where I'm visiting next week, is only 1 kilometer away from the place where Leonard Skinner recorded most of their 70s
Oh,
albums.
no way.
And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, not my favorite band. I've played enough shows that I have had someone screamplay Freebird at me. So,
Yeah, every time. And
no,
every live show, no matter
and
what.
and it's not a hard song. Most people actually do know how to play it. They just don't want to. Well, Sweet Home Alabama, the other one that's
Oh, they're not the same? Those are different?
those are different songs. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
they are fun songs to play. Don't
Wow,
get me wrong. So
wow,
yeah,
wow, 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 no, no, no,
yeah. There you
no.
go. See,
Okay,
are
there you
different
go.
songs. Yeah.
There you go. Different songs. Okay.
Okay, I guess we'll do this show because how do you what's a better lead-in for a show than the 70s hits of Leonard Skinner? So
Freebird.
give it 5 seconds and I'll start the show. Hello, welcome to Time Enough Podcast. It's where we've gone through all of the episodes of The Twilight Zone. We're now looking into Rod Serling scripted movies. This time it's the Doomsday Flight, which is a TV one, but very scripted by Rod. They stuck his name above the title and the promotional material, so we have to do it. This is Matt here. Over
I,
there, it's Mike
I,
Richards. You're talking all
I
right.
noticed
That's
that
great.
Rod Serling's The Doomsday Flight, written by
Yeah,
Rod
above the
Serling.
title. Is this
Yeah.
might be the only time. I mean, it's not Rod Serling's The Twilight Zone. This might be the only
No.
above the title for him, you know? He doesn't need it for the Twilight Zone, does he? You
No,
know,
he's
that's
I mean, he's a modest man. He's not, not like
even
the
when
others that do this.
even when you're watching Forrest Whitaker's Twilight Zone or Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone, you're still thinking of Rod Serling, you know? And he's
100%.
his ghost is there at best, you know? He's Caspering the situation. Um I'd like to think he's Caspering the situation, so hopefully.
I think
But
so.
yeah, Doomsday Flight. I'm like, I regularly podcast with a pilot. We should do this. Also, it's not bad. This is better than some of the theatrical releases we've covered.
This isn't bad. I am a sucker for airline disaster films from my youth. I had sort of conflated this with a movie called Skyjacked with Charlton Heston, which is about an American that wants to defect to the Soviet Union. So as I was watching it, I was like, I, I think this is the same exact plot as that movie with Heston. And then I was like, no, 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 no. This is the movie that it is. And I was wrong about the other one. So yeah, I thought this movie was very enjoyable. And I had seen it before, which I kind of, like I said, I kind of didn't realize until a few minutes in. But yeah, I enjoyed it. This was like a legit movie. I don't see any reason why this couldn't have been a theatrical
No, it
release.
did not have a smell of TV about it, which except that it
Yeah.
was in full frame, which I guess in the 60s you can still get away with.
Hmm.
But no, my thought is because we recently covered Airport 75, right? And I was like, how is this not as good as Airport 75? And I only had the backhanded compliment of this isn't quite as stupid.
And it's years before Airport, which is like, I'm sorry, the gold standard of airline disaster movies.
Yeah.
Like the
And
original
those 1970
1970
right, and
movie.
I feel
Yeah.
like all of them, those movies are charming because they're dumber than this one. Like if they're better, it's because they're dumber, you know?
And there were some things that weren't bad, like some of the crew things that I'm sure we'll talk about later. Some of the jargon used by the crew, some of the mannerisms of the captain, really played accurate according to, my time as a young first officer flying with guys from that generation.
Yeah, that was going to be one of the things I was very curious about. I'm like, this feels somewhat correct with a lot of the stuff they're saying, and we'll check in on that, of course. I'll go ahead and hit some trivia on this, real quicks. For the Doomsday Flight, this TV movie aired on NBC on 13th. December 1966. Why did I read that European? Because I wrote it that way. Just noting, of course, Twilight Zone was CBS, so it's very interesting that in 1966 he's writing this high-profile TV movie for NBC. I guess it's about the time he was doing a Western. Maybe that was NBC. I'll have to. That's something I did not research. But Rod Serling wrote this so hard that, as we said, he got an above title credit in a lot of the promotion. It is Rod Serling's The Doomsday Flight in many places you look. William Graham directed. On TV, he also took charge of episodes of Batman, The FBI, The Fugitive, and even as late as a few episodes of The X-Files. I suppose he never really popped on film, but his credits are fun. Honky, can't, that's a great movie title. Return to the Blue Lagoon, not the Blue Lagoon. And Elvis Presley's
Right.
final film, 1969's Change of Habit. Presley did not make a movie for the last 8 years of his life, which is kind of weird to think about. I guess he just got out of Hollywood. That's the reason why.
Hmm. He
Yeah.
kind of seemed to get out a lot of things.
Yeah, just the 70s Elvis is a big thing, so it's kind of weird to think,
Hmm.
oh, he stopped doing movies completely. Yeah. I've been
Yeah.
to Graceland. I've seen the taking care of business airplane they got there.
Yeah.
Jack Lord is FBI Special Agent Frank Thompson. You cannot typecast him harder than that. He is, of course, best known as the Lord of Hawaii Five-O. He was not the Lord of Star Trek. While he was cast as James T. Kirk, he also requested 50% ownership of the show, and the role went to William Shatner. He was also not the Lord of the Untouchables, where he lost the role to Robert Stack, but they did let him guest star in an episode there. I don't believe he is in an episode of Star Trek.
Should should we talk about how he's not the Lord of the James Bond franchise either?
He's
As he
in one at
was,
least.
he's in one, but I think he wanted like Felix Leitner to be like James Bond's like cool,
Sidekick.
like buddy cop.
Yeah. Doctor No, if anyone needs to put a pin in that. Yeah. I actually didn't put that in trivia because I was going to use it as a punchline later, but yeah, that's fine. I'll
Oh,
cut
I'm
out.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
No,
got
that's
it. That,
fine. That's
cut it
fine.
out.
We're
Edit it
already there.
out.
No, no, I don't edit. I don't have time for that crap. Edmund O'Brien was our nameless bomb threat guy. We just saw him playing a Southern senator like 2 movies ago in 7 Days in May. A very different role. So, gonna give O'Brien some credit as an actor there. But let's just spit gun his other roles since we already did some trivia on him. The Barefoot Contessa, 1984, the 50s version. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, Fantastic Voyage, The Wild Bunch. That's a nice run of films to have on your resume.
Hmm.
Your pilot was Van Johnson. He also piloted A Guy Named Joe, which was remade by Steven Spielberg as always, The Human Comedy, and 30 Seconds Over Tokyo. You'd think he would have driven a van with that name, but no. George Doucette was played by John Saxon. Funny, he's a heartthrob here as he gets real square in Black Christmas and A Nightmare on Elm Street, though he also gets to hang out with Bruce Lee and Enter the Dragon. He was still cool in that one, right? He wasn't, because later he's like the square law enforcement guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was still kind of bringing that robot face, Dylan Hunt energy on this one.
Yeah, yeah. It was just funny. I don't know. I've seen A Nightmare on Elm Street so many times. Like, what? You know? And there's credits I didn't list there. I mean, I know I've seen them in many other, probably movies that were too B to list here because you hire
Yeah,
John Saxon's like, if you pay me money, I will show up and I will do my job. Your
and he
movie
was in.
doesn't have to be good. I
I
will
think
be
he was in
good.
about three Gene Roddenberry pilots that were turned into TV movies, like Earth 2,
Buster
Strange New
tapes.
Worlds. Yeah, Strange New World, excuse me. Yeah, interesting.
Then we've got Ed Asner as. Oh no, I lost his character name. Dun, dun, dun. Mr. Feldman. That should have been so
That's
hard to
it.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, we know Ed Asner from the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Lou Grant won Emmys for those. He's in Roots. He's in
Hmm.
JFK, and he played Santa Claus in several films. Oh yes, and of course, Up. That one of his last roles is voicing Carl Fredricksen in Up. No, it's not one of his last roles. He kept working for 10 years after that.
He
Wow.
did.
He died in 2021 at age 91, and we were
He
commenting before I rolled tape on how like he's not quite old in this movie, and that was shocking.
he was, yeah, it was amazing how young he was. I don't know if you want to talk about that later or not, but he played Johnny Lawrence's abusive stepdad in Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah, there we go. You may way
Yeah,
past up. What am I talking about? Oh, I'm thinking about I'm thinking about like Paul Newman in Cars or what's in Ratatouille. Yeah, those are some last roles. Peter O'Toole in Ratatouille, which are like Pixar got all these final roles from Film Icon somehow, but
yeah.
not Asner. Asner kept kicking for
No.
10 years, just like Carl Fredricksen would do. Maybe I haven't said on this podcast. Of course, you translate movie titles, and Up translates in Japanese as something like Old Man Uncle Carl flies into the sky in his house or something. It has this insanely long title, which is funny because in English it's just Up.
Up.
And I did a podcast about that about a year ago, and we were talking about, yeah, you'll never see this stuff in the theme parks. Who wants to see old Uncle Carl, you know? And Doug's cool, but the dog, but he's not cool enough. Cut to a month later, Tokyo Disney is like, we're going to take out like the Jungle Cruise and replace it with an Up ride. And then I go to Disneyland, and the parade's coming. Here comes an Up parade with Uncle Carl on the top going, ah! Like, okay, I was wrong about Up not making it to the theme parks. So, but yeah, Doomsday Flight, flying into the sky in a different way, a more conventional way, an airplane, not your house with a bunch of
Hmm.
balloons. Have you ever do they do that in pilot training by a chance? Or like get in the chair, put some balloons on it?
Balloon? No. Man, there was somebody. Oh man, there's a documentary on this where somebody for they said they did it for their son, and it was maybe a publicity stunt where they attached like a lot of balloons to this lawn chair, and it kind of got away from them, and the wind caught them, and they were hilarity ensued. I'll just say that I don't know enough about it to go beyond that.
What is something weird and unexpected that happens in flight training? That
Oh, flight training. Well, I learning to respect the fact that when there's a notice to airmen, uh, that there's parachute jumping in the area, that there very well may be parachute jumping in the area. and that
okay,
and
so
that it
just
is
be ready
it
to
is it is best to stay away from that. Yeah. And I think
yes.
and I think the statute of limitations is old enough on that by now that I can say that without worrying about it.
There we go. Just any kind of training always has that weird, unexpected thing, that you wouldn't think about. Um,
Yeah, I can't think of anything like weird that I had to learn. Like, why do we have to learn this? Yeah,
but they didn't have you guys parachute jumping just in case.
correct.
Okay, because I don't know, it could happen.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now I have worn a parachute doing aerobatic training, but the only training you get into is pull the cord.
Okay, I guess I
That doesn't
guess
work.
anyone can handle it,
Pull the other
and pray to
cord.
God, then pray to
Yeah,
God. Okay, there we go. I don't know. Would I jump out of a plane with a parachute? I feel like you'd say yes, but when you're there, you have second thoughts, don't you?
I think you would, and I think then it's just sort of like if everybody else is going, then you'd rather die of impact with the earth than die of embarrassment, so you just go.
Yeah. I jumped off of like a 20-meter high rock into a lake, but it did take me 10
20
minutes to do
meters.
that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that took a
Okay.
bit of working
Yeah.
up
Oh, I
to
bet.
to
Yeah.
do that,
Uh-huh.
So I didn't just plop right in. Although the experience, maybe there's been a few less intense situations where I'm just like, okay,
Hmm.
into the breach we go.
Yep.
Um, for other weird air facts, I just for some reason had to think of Michel Lotito. I guess that's how you say his name. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm.
He is a French entertainer who was known for eating weird stuff, and he ate a Cessna. It took him a year, but he ate the Cessna.
No, I do not. I am not familiar.
He ate a shopping cart. He lived to age 57. I guess maybe he had stomach issues, but
Well,
yeah.
probably. Yeah. That's cray.
Yeah. But I don't know, for weird plane things that always comes to mind. But yeah, I guess we get a little more into this film because that was a wild tangent there. Oh, just when we start, there's a few on YouTube. I sent you a link and it was dead. I'm like, oh, there's like 10 other versions of this film on YouTube. And
Yeah. Yeah. I found a good one.
I made sure to choose one that started with that Universal logo because that's the best Universal logo.
Hmm.
That one
It
that looks
is.
it looks kind of analog but still looks
Right.
good and the colors are kind of
Yeah.
bleeding into each other. I'm like, that's
Hmm.
the best one. Yeah.
That's legit.
Paramount, I think, benefits from more CGI because there's that 10 or 15 year ago. Maybe they still use a Paramount logo where the stars like go over the lake, and then that's cool.
Yeah.
So they
Uh-huh.
benefit from CGI. Universal, no. The CGI
Right.
runs for Universal. You need a dumb model of Earth with fake clouds. Um,
Mhm.
when the music starts, I'm right away. I mean, we just did 7 Days in May, and I'm just thinking this sounds a whole lot like Frankenheimer and Hitchcock scores.
Yeah, I noticed right away, opening credits, Lalo Schifrin
Yeah, and then I
on
was
the
like, oh, I'm
music.
also hearing tones of the Planet of the Apes
Yeah.
TV series, which we also covered. This being,
Yeah.
10
Yeah,
years
but so yeah,
before that.
mission,
But
we had a little Mission Impossible in there with uh Morris and Lalo Schifrin.
yeah, when Greg
So, yeah, a
Morris
little bit
shows
of a
up,
connection
oh
there.
yeah, yeah, he
Yeah.
wasn't in the movie enough for me
Small
to
role.
trivia, but
Yeah.
he definitely, I was like, wait a minute, he's here, when he shows
Yep.
up.
Yeah, and then I just kind of read down some cast. We did have a crossover. We had a airport, the Doomsday Flight crossover, and
Okay.
it's kind of as a somebody on the Roddenberry on Roddenberry podcasts. I was surprised to see who that was. It was the she played elderly woman, same actress that played
Oh, T'Pau, yes.
T'Pau. Yeah, she
Yeah, I
was
meant
also in Airport 1970.
I did put that in my or not I did not put that in my trivia. I did look that up because we did Airport 75. Oh, there's Myrna
Yeah,
Loy. So when we're watching this,
right.
oh, who's the elderly lady here? I'm like, oh, well, she hasn't quite done her iconic role yet at this point, has she?
Yeah,
So good for her. You can always make your accolades late in life if you need to. So
absolutely. And I did look to see if that was her that played a similar role in Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, who accomplished the Faltorpan, the melding of the minds, the joining of the
Dame
Katra.
Judith Anderson.
Yeah, yeah, it was not,
Yeah.
but a very similar. I could have been.
Yeah, that was her, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because sadly we lost elderly woman in 1979.
Well, if she's elderly in 1966, I mean, it's a pretty good run.
thought I thought Edward Asner was looking pretty elderly, and he was 37 years old.
Yep, that's the 60s for you. No,
Yep.
my grandmother, she made it like 3 months short of like 100, and we were like, huh, that's the disappointing part. That make it
Yeah.
this extra couple months, get that triple digit on,
Yeah.
but
That's it, man.
making a 99 is pretty good too. So what can you do?
Yeah.
Um, Again, yeah, when Edmund O'Brien shows up as our bomber,
Oh my God,
I got
so
some.
good.
Maybe it's because I just finished watching season 2 of Severance, but I was definitely getting some Christopher Walken vibes from there, which is cool. A little bit
I,
of
I
is it Sean Harris? In Mission Impossible Rogue Nation as the villain. That I got that vibe a
yeah,
little bit.
I was scouring IMDb to see what else I was thinking of as far as his previous credits because it was like such a Batman 1966 kind of villainous vibe, and he was playing those glasses so well, at least in the bar scene with his eyes moving from left to right with the camera just like magnifying his eyes. Like that was whether that was director or him or a collaboration between the two, that was a phenomenal use of that those thick glasses he was wearing.
I think that's what I was thinking of with Sean Harris in the Rogue Nation, because that
Hmm.
glasses acting is similar, I feel like in
Right.
that movie. And then just very icy and cold and weird, but interesting,
Yeah. Were you reminded at all of Burgess Meredith from the namesake of this podcast with
Oh,
his
okay.
character?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but he had more malice though, whereas in that he's just like, calling me Mr. Pitiful or whatever, right? I mean,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
when we were talking about the Twilight Zone, I would often come across like I actually kind of like am annoyed by that character, Mr.
Hmm.
What was his name?
I don't
Not
know. I remember
Beavis.
his.
It's close to Beavis. Beavis is the other
Yeah.
guy because we'd always mixed up with that. But close, the guy whose name is close to that. But yeah, I always he does. I'm like the people in his life that piss him off. Like I think he would piss me off because in the show he pisses me off. This guy,
Hmm.
of course. is just like you're not. Well, one, what is his scheme? Blow up a flight, get hammered at a bar, and then die?
Well, I mean, I don't think that was the plan.
But he took, wasn't he taking pills that are technically
He
to
was. He was
end it
taking
all at one
those.
point?
I forget what they call them, but
We'll call it
it's not
cyanide
nitrous
just if you
oxide or
want. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He might as well would have the same effect. Um, but I think he was. Yeah, he was a jilted employee that wanted wanted revenge, wanted his big payday, wanted to get his,
He
and
wanted
I
to be an
guess
engineer, but he was a mechanic. Is that the beef?
I, yeah, because at one point he said they treated me like a mechanic or they thought I was a mechanic. Yeah, yeah. So I think he wanted his payday, and then he realized like the power to make these people dance was more important. That really was the thing. And then he just decided to start blabbing to the bartender because you know, Matt, there are times where you'll tell your bartender things you won't tell your FBI agent.
Yeah, that guy wasn't his doctor though, you know.
I like that though because he was like, "Do you want to talk to a doctor?" And I'm like, no, because there's things you'll tell your bartender that you won't tell your doctor."
I guess we also need to mention Dennis Hopper from Speed because 15 minutes in, I'm like, isn't this the plot of Speed? I mean, again, this is before everything I'm like relating it to. So we should give
Yeah,
Rod Serling and the Doomsday Flight props. If I'm saying like, is this like airplane
totally.
or airport? Isn't this like Speed? I'm like,
Yeah,
well, those were a
and it
lot
came
later.
before all of them. Yeah,
Yeah. So, but the plan is kind of like what is it? You know, if you go below 40 miles an hour, bus blows up. If you go beneath 4,000 feet, plane blows up. I'm like,
but I guess that was the out, right? So this bomb's hidden on board. I don't think the man, as he was credited, ever says this, but he if he had gotten his by the way, coolest panel van I've seen in a movie in forever. That speedy delivery guy, Speedy Jet.
oh
Love
yeah,
that thing. Broke my heart to see it
bad
blow up.
job.
Yeah. Hopefully they blew up a prop truck and not that real one. So get the 100,000 and then tell them the bomb's set to go off at 4,000 feet. So you're going to have to land in, Denver, um, maybe Albuquerque, I think is close to that high. Um, Maybe Colorado Springs would be another option. So yeah, I guess that was the plan was to give them an out if he got his money.
What's the smallest kind of airport you can land a passenger jet on in an emergency?
Well, I mean, keep in mind, I think that they showed several different kinds of airplanes. So, like that cool scene of like the landing gear with the opening scene was not the same kind of airplane that they taxied in with, which looked to be more like a 707, which was the model that they were holding up or that was on display quite a bit. And, which was probably the same as the shooting model that they used for the exterior shots, the same one that was on the desk.
I mean, my knowledge level is there is an
Yeah.
airplane on the screen. So
And then when they popped the slides and did the evacuation at the end, that was something entirely different altogether. It's something entirely different.
well, this
So
this is what three seats, no center row in this, so it's not the biggest, right?
yeah, so I'm thinking it was probably something like if not exactly like a 707, but man, when they threw that number of 95,000 pounds of gas by the dispatcher to the captain, I was just like, wow. So let's say it's a 5 hour flight, round numbers. We got four engines. From what I remember of the 707 at cruise, it burned about 3,000 pounds per hour per engine. So that's 12,000 pounds an hour times five is 60,000 pounds. You can really double your fuel consumption for the first hour. So add another 12 onto that. Now you're up to 72,000 pounds, and you need a little something to get to either your, uh, what were the alternates? Philly and Dulles, but dinner's better in Dulles. So
Yes,
then you
dinner's
need some
better in
fuel to
Dulles.
get to your alternate also. So yeah, 95,000 pounds wasn't ridiculous, but I mean, right now on a modern day airliner, like I fly, I mean, you're looking at 5 hours at, I mean, you're talking about like 40,000 pounds of gas, you know, 40,
Yeah.
45 to carry the same amount of people
So we've gotten
or
more
more.
fuel efficient. Progress.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. But yet,
And you can
even
see
here,
all
they
the You
Do
can
they
see all the
still
gas
give?
just blowing.
I was just
Oh,
saying,
sorry,
do they
Matt. Go
still
ahead.
give planes that much overhead? I mean, just in case they do need to fly to Dallas, or yeah, I guess you have to do that.
So yeah, if the weather's worse than, and honestly, a lot of the chat was good. I mean, the captain was like, "Hey, and just in case the guys at the National Weather Bureau don't have their heads on straight, do you give us an alternate?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, I gave you two." So if the weather actually is technically below, if the forecast for your time of arrival is less than a certain ceiling and visibility criteria based on the kind of facilities exist at the airport you're going to, then you would need an alternate or possibly two. Yeah, that was good dialogue. I thought that was good.
They really did get into the nitty-gritty of that as well, because here we
Yeah,
are talking about it, which,
yeah,
to be fair, with the airport movies, that does not come up.
true. And the other thing is that no matter what, so to your destination, to your alternate, most distance alternate, which would be Dulles in this case, any known en route delays. So if you're expecting holding or something like that, and then you got to be able to fly for 45 minutes. You got you know after that. So you should always land with a minimum of 45 minutes of reserve fuel in the
Hmm.
tanks
If you can, obviously, this
if you
one is
can.
not.
Otherwise, you're
This
yeah.
one's on
Otherwise,
fumes, I
you're
assume, at the end. So,
That's what they said, man. Needed every bit of it. I'm gonna make my people start doing that. I want 1,000 foot call out every 1,000 feet until we get down to 7,000 feet, and then I want every 500. You guys are gonna
mm.
look at me like, "Shut up!
Be
No, I'm
like,
not
no,
doing that."
you're taking command. That's what you're doing. uh, let's see. Let's have a, I guess, style corner. The flight attendant suits were amazing. We get those LA neon signs from 1966. There's a lot of little
Yep,
style elements. I mean, all the airplane stuff. It's cool. This is like, man, why aren't they like this
it was,
anymore?
man. The it was cool. I did notice that the captain did not have a captain's hat on. Captain's hat normally has what we call scrambled eggs or something on the bridge of the hat that the first officers do not have.
Now
So that's one way to tell a captain from a first officer.
I wonder if that is because Van Johnson in the 40s was basically a matinee idol, right? His biggest hit
Right.
was what I mentioned, right? But he was in a lot of stuff like as a ginger heartthrob or whatever. So I mean, even now, if you're putting Tom Cruise in a movie, you don't want to cover him up too much unless it's Tropic Thunder, right?
No,
So
but they did have him in his hat quite a bit. It was just the incorrect hat.
yeah, and it says here he when he died in 2008 at age 92, he was considered the last of the golden age heartthrobs. So yeah.
Wow.
Mickey Rooney died a few years after. He must have been near the last, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's
Was
a we
was
did.
John Saxon famous when this movie came out? He probably wasn't really famous yet, was he?
I'm gonna double check that because there were like very early. He was a contract actor, so he's Golden Globe Award for New Star of the Year in like the 50s. So actually, yeah, it seems
Yeah.
he
Do
was
you think he was sad that they didn't just have him play himself?
maybe.
Like
Well,
why am I building this made up movie star? Like, I mean, actual movie star.
Elvis, who we mentioned earlier, never played Elvis in a movie, so I think it was probably fine. Yeah, he's in a
Okay, good.
Rock Pretty Baby, Portrait in Black. I have not seen those movies, hence I didn't even think about putting them in the trivia. Um, he a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor in 1966 for The Appaloosa. So, I mean, I
Okay.
guess he was, he'd be like I don't know. He'd be on the map. Let's put it that way. Like at least
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
5% of the audience share would have recognized him. That would be my guess. I don't know.
Good man. That woman who got the autograph and was very non-committable. I think whether the autograph was for her or her daughter. She said, "Make it out to Evelyn."
Yeah, but that
And
could
I
be a
think that was
lie.
a little girl. Yeah, it could be a lie. Man, she gave him the up down as he was walking away.
Yeah. Oh, shortly after, I just have to note. Well, that's at the beginning, but there was a reference to a Mr. Willoughby, which would be a nothing except if Rod Serling is writing the script. Then you have to make a note that there was a Mr. Willoughby in the movie. It was just like they
Yeah.
referenced someone in the background. Hey, Mr. Willoughby, look
Right.
at this. So,
Yeah.
having just finished doing the entire Twilight Zone, that sticks out.
Hmm.
Um, why am I calling? John Saxon, a flying Greek god here. Okay, I guess that's the vibe
Oh
he's.
yeah, no, that was
Oh, are
that's what
you?
the dispatcher called the pilots.
Oh, I was gonna. It actually says, Mike, are you a flying Greek god? I'm asking you directly.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, no, I am I am not. I strive to be the okayest pilot in the industry.
Oh, you're
When I
not gonna
fly with
survive Gozer. When someone asks
when
you
I
if
fly
you're a god,
when
you
I
say
fly
yes.
with other when I fly with other pilots, I want to be just like everybody else they fly with, so there's no surprises, nothing to guess at. No, they can just do their job the way they always do it, and I do my job the way I always do it, and
That's the
we
way
get
to
along just
fly.
fine.
I,
Yeah.
I meant it as Ghostbusters question. You're supposed to say yes, but
Like if somebody asks you, are you
yeah,
a
yeah,
Greek flying
yeah.
god? You say yes.
Yeah, you failed the test. uh,
Oh, my, that's what I get for trying to give a legitimate answer on your show, Matt.
no, no, a legitimate answer is good too. It's better answer. Yeah, good if your higher ups are listening. Um,
Yeah.
Hey, were you a Hawaii Five-O fan? That's something I never watched much of because
I
Channel 17, the
Same here.
Superstation, TBS on cable, I'd put it
Yeah.
on, and when I was 8 years old, 10 years old, I'd Saved by the Bell's over and Hawaii Five-O comes on. That's not what I'm
Yeah.
there for, you know?
No,
Now I
Hawaii.
think I'd
Yeah.
totally enjoy it. You know, I would love it now, but
I,
at
I
10 years old, I wasn't old enough, I think.
I think I might also. Feels like it was before my time. So now, yes, I'm a big Star Trek the original series fan, and I think they were contemporary, but that had space and future and phasers and stuff like that in it. Hawaii Five O just never hooked me. I probably watched that opening a lot, and
One
then
of
it
the
would
best
kind of
theme
go
songs
to
ever.
yeah, and then it would go to like you
People
know uh,
talking in a room.
people talking and smoking in a room, and you know Jack Lord, who I just always thought had a very pompous look, and it would just lose me at that point.
Yeah, I guess that wouldn't have worked in Star Trek. That might have like put it like slightly over the top on the cheese level where
Yeah,
Shatner has a different kind of cheese, you know? It's like,
right.
do you want some
Yeah.
blue cheese or do you want some,
Yeah,
gorgonzola?
he's a little more tongue in cheek, I think, and I also think he's yeah. I mean, as it might not be 100% correct to say that he doesn't take himself too seriously, but I don't think he takes himself as seriously as people think he takes himself.
Yeah. And he's great in the cage, but I don't think Jeffrey Hunter really would have made the show work either. He's got
Yeah,
too much Jesus on him, you know?
yeah, a lot of Jesus stink on
Yeah. You can't have Captain Kirk doing that, you know? So let's see. We're gonna kill Jeff Daniels. Oh yeah, yeah. That was how this is different than the speed. Nobody gets killed like
him.
Jeff
Shoot the
Daniels.
hostage.
Yeah, we don't get any of that. Oh,
Take him out of the
we were
equation.
talking Ed Asner. Like, he's not quite middle aged. He's already old. But in this movie, before I realized that was Ed Asner, because you're just not used to
Uh huh.
seeing him even looking this young, is I was like,
Yeah.
this guy looks like a mix of Bob Hoskins and Dan Hedaya. You know?
Oh, definitely. Yes. Yeah. Definitely proto Bob Hoskins going
Yeah,
on.
yeah. So that was cool. I just made a note that The Birds 8 Miles High came out the same year as this movie, and Roger McGuinn is
Okay.
a aviation maniac, and he does know that 8 miles high is the wrong altitude. He just thought it sounded better in what 6 miles high.
Yeah, I mean, 6 miles high would be, depending on what kind of
Six
miles you're using,
miles
36,000 feet
high,
if you're
and
nautical
it just doesn't
miles.
sound as
Yeah.
good in a song. Yeah. So
Yeah. 8 miles high. Yeah. I mean, some corporate jets get into the mid 40s. I don't think I've ever heard of anything at 48,000 feet. Of course, we're talking not, statute miles. And I'm not going to multiply 5,280 times eight for you.
we're
So,
we're
but
going
that's,
20,000 leagues under the sea. And I am
I was a
referencing
little
the SNL skit
surprised.
for anyone that cares.
Yeah, I was a little surprised they went from, okay, a couple of things. I was a little surprised they went from, excuse me, ma'am, can you tell me what time flight 6 departs to takeoff roll, right? Because boarding and meeting the passengers and all the B plots and all the human interest in the back of the airplane, like that's basically like 90% of every airport movie, right? Like,
Yeah.
getting to know who's going to be in the back, and so you
Yeah, we
start to care
don't
about them.
learn. I mean, they introduce us to John Saxon, but otherwise,
Yeah.
it's mostly just the
That's it.
flight crew.
Little bit of the was it the general, it was the corporal, the kid in the cane, the or not kid, but the young soldier, in the cane coming
Well,
home
he's
from
just like
Vietnam.
what Chekhov's corporal because he's going to need to do stuff later, like that one thing
Yeah,
he
yeah,
does
yeah. He
later.
did. He did. Yeah, you can chalk one up for the army. The other thing that when the captain didn't have his flight bag, um, or brain bag, as some people call it, which remember the dispatch was like, "Hey, don't forget your brains," and pointed to his briefcase, his big briefcase. Um, are we assuming that that's when the man put the aneroid bomb in
That's why they ask
his?
you, have you had your iron luggage the entire time?
Yeah,
It even
thanks,
goes to
Rod
the
Serling,
captain.
for ruining security for us. But like, is that so? Are we to assume that the man like went? Usually, that's downstairs, like on like ground level, like below the jet bridges. Like, are we to assume that the man somehow got down there? The man who couldn't even read a sign 6 feet in front of him was able to somehow get down into operations and put that bomb in his suitcase, which also usually have little combination locks on them. If you're familiar with those little 3-digit, you know, zero
Yeah.
zero zero
My wife just
lock
asked me, should I
combinations.
put this on the bag? And I was like, it's just souvenirs. I'm like, you know what? Someone steals that bag, that's just bad for the people that don't get the souvenir. So maybe don't bother.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, they're kind of built into the. But do we think that's where he put the aneroid bomb
You have
in
to
the?
assume. There we go. You got the
Yeah.
name because even in my notes, I ended up writing Arkanoid Bomb. I remember that game from the late 80s. So
Asteroid bomb. So the thing
no,
that I thought
oh, I
was
wrote
funny is that
Arkanoid,
yeah,
the bong, bong, the
yeah.
bouncing
Oh
game.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I thought it was funny when he sends the flight engineer down into the what's referred to as the electronics, the E and E compartment, um, electronics and electrical, I think. Um, he was like, hey, Skipper, what am I looking for?" And he goes, "An aneroid bomb." And he goes, "A what?" And he goes, "An aneroid bomb."
If
And I'm
he didn't
like,
know what
that
it is, he's
doesn't
not gonna
explain
find
it
it.
any better. That doesn't explain it any better.
Something that looks like it will explode. Look for that. I mean, isn't that good enough? I mean,
Um, but one of the things I do know from my training is that bombs require, I don't know if bombs require a power source, an ignition source, an explosive, and a switch. And they detailed all four of those things very well in this film when the guy was explaining, the power source and the relay and they showed a little diagram, and I was like, wow, that's pretty good.
that might be the sauce here because as we've been going through the Serling movies, the ones that were actually like good, uh,
Yeah.
like the special effect in them was usually some scene of verbal pyrotechnics. Like the
Yeah.
special effect
Or
was intense dialogue. This doesn't have that. It can't
yeah.
really. A disaster movie doesn't have time for that. So maybe it's
Hmm.
like the devil's in the technical details here, you know?
Yeah, I think technical accuracy is from I mean, is important in airline things. I did like the only other airline mentioned was a TWA flight when they were trying to climb to 41,000 feet, as they put it, or as we would say, flight level 410. And he said, "You got a TWA flight at 41,000 feet. I can get you up to 37." FO looks at the captain. Captain nods. FO says, "Yeah, we'll do that." Perfectly played. Just very, very accurate to how. And your listeners may not know, I'm a former TWA pilot. Flew there from 1996 to 2003.
Yep. Three-dimensional thinking there, right?
That's it, man. That is,
Yeah.
you can be intelligent, but unless you're experienced,
Yeah.
can't
Johnny
think
Me
in
and
three
Sung would make
dimensions.
a bad airline pilot. He'd run into all those parachutes. And he'd want to.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna kill a bug. Done. Okay. My
We're it's that time of year where they're all trying to come inside, I guess here. So
yeah, and
yeah,
there's
we had our
holes in my
exterminator
screen.
out today.
My wife put some tape on the screen, but some
Yeah.
one of the pieces of tape fell off. So,
Mhm.
um, wow, that was a bloody bug. He must have bit me. Okay.
Oh, it's no fun.
I got him with a bit of paper, and I'm like, wow, that's a notable amount of red on that paper now.
Splat.
Uh, Nobody wants to hear that. Okay. I'd show it to you, but it has a password on it, so probably shouldn't put that on Zoom and YouTube or whatever. Um, let's see, just going through my notes if there's anything else I need to scream out. Don't give me any of them damn paper cups. That seemed like a really specific request. I think I added the
Yeah.
damn part. Just go outside and play. That was fun for some complaints, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I liked the I like what did he say? Put your happy face on, get back there and reassure the passengers.
oh, and
I'm
they
gonna
don't
try that on my next trip and see if that works.
they give the advice, breathe through your nose. That's good advice. Don't
Yeah.
be a mouth breather if you can,
Yeah. Yeah, there was some good stuff there. Like now all of this stuff is, should be like even in 1966, I think, would be proceduralized so that flight attendants are trained how to evacuate an aircraft. They're trained to put people in the crash, in the brace position, and how to evacuate the airplane and leave everything and have the women take their high heels off. It just seemed like a little bit weird that he's taxiing the airplane in, like pre-briefing this evacuation in
you want
and
to get
deep
them
in the
off and the bomb squad on like ASAP though. So
correct. You want to evacuate. There's no doubt about that. Um, but pretty much all you have to do is stop, set the brakes, run through your checklist, which will have you shut the engines down. Set because you want to configure the wings so people can get off the wing, which means put the flaps in a certain position, bring the speed brakes down, set the brakes, shut the engines off, and then you just get on the PA basically and say evacuate, 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 or recommend whatever doors you think are safe. And then the flight attendants can do the rest. If you just stop the airplane and say evacuate, people go out the overwing exit. They could trip over the speed brakes,
they watch the
fall off
video.
the wing because the flaps aren't down. They can't use them as a slide, and then they get sucked into an engine. And that is no way to get repeat business.
No,
So you
no.
got to have the airplane set up first before you command it. But yeah, I think getting people off the aircraft in a timely fashion, you could probably have had them. There's probably enough time to tell them, hey, we're going to stop on the runway. We want 8 sets of air stairs. We want air stairs at every door so we can get people off. Because once you start people throwing people down slides, somebody's going to get hurt. Like it's just a
Mm.
matter of how many. So if you can avoid that, you should. But I thought it was sort of a funny. Let me brief you on how to do an evacuation while I'm taxiing down the runway when
Yeah,
you could just be stopping and
that's why you're supposed to
evacuating the
watch the
airplane.
film at the beginning. I said video, but
That's
yeah,
it.
the safety video, yeah,
Yeah.
film, whatever.
Well, it was probably filmed back then. It was well, actually, it probably wasn't. It was probably a live demo with those guys.
Oh yeah, I'd like to think they put the film on, but full film thing, get a projector out. I want all that. We missed that part.
Yeah.
They could
Hey,
have put that
speaking
in.
about speaking about working until they're old, Malachi Throne, aka Commodore Mendez, um, doing voice work up until about 10 years ago before he passed away.
Wow. Hey, nice work if you can get it. I mean, maybe you're listening too, but there's the Khan. We mentioned Khan already. There's the radio drama, and
Yeah.
it's great. George
Right.
Takei there is in there, and he does a
Yeah.
good job. But you are like, wow, he sounds old. Tim Russ can still do the Tuvok without sounding too old, but George Takei, like,
Yeah.
this is a man in his late 80s. That's clear.
Right. Yeah.
So that was one of my disconnects there because I'm thinking of a very old Hikaru Sulam. No, he's supposed to be like, maybe 60, right? So,
Yeah, I mean it's obviously set. Um, he's captain of the Excelsior, so a little bit after Star Trek 6, I think I listened to the first episode and they set the timeline for it.
right, that's what I'm saying.
Um,
Like when I
yeah.
hear his voice, my timeline is this is a very old character. So,
Yeah.
but and then once they are talking, like, oh no, he's supposed to be like, maybe
He's
like late
supposed to
50s, 60s, something like
be
that.
yeah, kind of
So.
around the time of Star Trek 6, I guess.
The guy that did McGruff, the crime dog, I can't remember his
Uh-huh.
name off the top of my head, but yeah, he insisted on doing McGruff like into his 90s. So anytime you
Oh,
hear
okay.
McGruff until about 5 years ago, it's the same dude
Hmm.
because he was like, McGruff is mine, McGruff is mine. There, got to do it in the right voice. And in
Um,
that case, him getting older probably made McGruff sound better. So
yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it just kept getting better and better, which is probably why they're like, yeah, it does sound good. Um, yeah, another thing I liked, Captain Anderson, showing a little vulnerability there at the end. He was like, "Hey, uh, when you're back there, you're trying to help the passengers. Just remember, you got a scared airline captain up here, or whatever it was.
Hey,
Some
if
kind
you're
of line like that.
if you're flying a Doomsday flight, you're also part of the Doomsday. So
Yeah. But
um,
I did like the pep talk. Like, hey guys, we're starting our descent now. We're gonna whatever happens, people are gonna be reading about this and kind of looking at every detail of what we did for you know years and decades, shall I say. We still look at accidents that happened 50, 60 years ago, to see what can be gleaned from them. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty good talk.
with that in mind, the things they're going to look at, they just let's go to Denver is kind of like a last minute decision. They're what circling the Grand Canyon for most of the movie, and then like, hey, wait a minute,
Which
why don't
it
we go
ain't
to
that close. They said something like 200 miles. I'm like, no.
yeah, and then they're like, just like 90% of the movie, like, why don't we fly to a higher altitude spot? Which seems like you would have maybe thought of that much earlier. That's
I
something
mean,
that the history, when they're
they
looking at
he
this
did
in the
he did
future.
say when he said, let's just say it's below 10,000 feet. And he did say that. I mean, you could have sent him to Mexico City right then.
Yeah. So
And then
anyway,
it could have been like SST Death Flight, where like no country lets him in.
ah, so Denver's a better solution. Anyway, I just like when it comes up near the end, they do it. It's like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. I was like, wait a minute, they should have had this great idea like 30 minutes ago. They would have had the fuel to do it properly at that time too. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I again, hey, I don't know what's like in there. So maybe you don't think of it. Someone's like, hey, you go
Dude.
below us, you're gonna blow up.
Uh-huh.
Might
Oh
distort
man,
your thinking. Now I'm still
it
trying to
is.
throw some questions on these movies. They don't make as much sense as the Twilight Zone, but you know what? I think they actually might work for this one. That does
Oh yeah.
anyone in this movie enter any kind of Twilight Zone? I mean, I guess a disaster is sort of a Twilight Zone, a total
It is, man.
disaster.
I wonder like what was being served at that bar because, the man, as he was credited,
In the
sort of had
next
this
movie we're doing.
epiphany. Yeah, sort of had this epiphany of it's not about the money. It's about being able to do whatever I want. It was like more the power that grasped him. You know, um, how's it go? The power and the money and the power, minute after minute, hour
Power
after
to
hour.
the power to die
So that
right there.
so that was he was like it's not the money, it's the it was thinking of them sort of jumping through all these hoops and scrambling for their lives. That was his turn on. Um it's strange, reaction. One that sort of maybe was brought on by his impending death or maybe brought on his impending death. I don't know. But I think the man was I would say there was some Twilight Zone like activity with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I was going to go ahead and put the people in the plane into the Twilight Zone because that guy just made
Okay.
weird decisions. Again, I'm running
Yeah.
a high profile crime scheme. Let me go get hammered at the bar is a weird decision. I was like, does anyone
Yeah.
else do it? And I thought, well, Dennis Hopper didn't do that in Speed, but then I was like, oh, but Dennis Hopper did do that in Blue Velvet. So,
Yeah.
smaller stakes, I guess. But yeah. Speaking of the actual nitrous, but yeah, I thought it was interesting. I mean, I guess it would be so stressful. Someone might, I mean, that's actually a realistic thing that someone would do that. It's just narratively a weird decision.
Yeah. And you see people, you know, I don't know. I mean, if you do, is it common? I think it is. I don't know that if you commit, a high profile crime, that at some point, you're going to want to talk about it. You're going to tell somebody, yeah, true, false.
Yeah,
What do
you
you
could brag.
think?
Well, you'd want to brag about if nothing else, right?
Yeah, heck yeah. What's the point in doing it if you can't brag about it?
Exactly. So, so okay, that makes the question: do they deserve? Well, we'll take him, and we'll take my answer: the plane people, the people on the plane, the passengers and crew. As why am I going so roundabout saying that? Anyway, yeah, did they deserve their trip through the Twilight Zone? I guess in his case, he's really making the decisions. He kind of makes the decision to die. Uh, so. I guess he deserves everything that happens, and nobody
Yeah,
dies in the end except him. So no
yeah, I
no
don't.
harm, no foul. Big foul, but I guess no harm.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I didn't see anybody on the airplane other than maybe John Saxon's character be
And the elderly
deserving of.
lady and the military officer.
Well, no, 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 that was deserving of
Oh, oh.
any, you
Well,
know,
even him, he was
uh,
just a blowhard. It's like, does Tom Cruise
yeah.
deserve to crash on a plane?
But you know
Probably
what? You
not.
know where he kind of redeemed himself. He was like, "Yeah, don't look at me, man. Look at the captain and the stews and the, and the passengers that all helped out. Like, and that's why like the captain was like, ah, look at him, humble and grateful. What a guy. But at least in public, he knew to say the right things.
Yeah, yeah. He's his PR agent is not too stressed out by him most of the time.
Yeah,
That's probably
I
not true.
I can see
I
that.
could see him being a blowhard in many situations.
Now, as far as the man going through the Twilight Zone, I'd s- I'd I'd say yes because I mean it's their scheme. They hatched the scheme. Was he pushed to it? I don't know. I mean, a lot of people sadly are in careers and get downsized or get have to start over or their position gets eliminated and it's tragic. And in a society where money isn't everything, but without it you have nothing. Um, I could see it causing an extreme level of stress.
Also, we know he's good enough to build a bomb. Otherwise, we don't
Yeah.
know how talented this guy actually is as an engineer, you know? Like he could actually suck at this, except for bomb building, which he also might suck at because nothing blows up.
Yeah. I did want to talk a little bit about like, biases though, right? I mean, like his old boss was like, no, he's not that kind of guy. He's a college grad, a family man,
That's always the quiet
um,
guy, right?
et cetera. So, um, you know, he's not the kind of guy that would put a bomb on a plane. Okay.
Well, he
And
is
you can see the
now. He
skepticism
wasn't
of the
until
F.
today.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you're not. Nobody is until they are. And you can see the skepticism of the FBI guys because they were kind of like, yeah, this guy checks all the boxes. So appreciate the word of the words of encourage, of the words of recommendation. But yeah, we're gonna follow up on this.
Ted Kaczynski was
Um,
a prominent mathematician in the 60s.
yeah, yeah, and then you have uh the crew never searched their bags, right?
Well,
They
yeah, I
can't
guess that's a
can't
change
can't
now,
can't
yeah.
be us. Can't be. No, I mean just like they never even thought to check their own. He was going to get a cigarette, I think, at the end of the movie.
They're tearing through like vinyl on the plane.
Speaking of that, that was a cool. That was like a legit. That was an actual airline crash axe. Like I was expecting them to see like a hatchet or something back there, but like that sort of like rounded, very sharp front edge and the very pointy back edge. That's what we carry to get out if we have to.
Nice specific tools. We were at a
Yeah.
restaurant yesterday, it was a French place, and they had this weird specific tool to get the breadcrumbs off the table.
Yeah. Ooh, yep. I
Yeah,
know
I
what you
haven't seen
mean.
much of that before. Okay. Um, I want to two-prong the last question. Because I feel like at least for me, tripometer is like 1.5. This isn't anything trippy. So, you can
Mm.
disagree if you'd want, or I didn't feel much trippiness here.
No, not much trippiness. Just sort of a
Impending death can always be slightly trippy, but yeah.
I mean, did Anderson deserve to go because he was like, I'm bored. I'd rather be back in the Eighth Air Force. And did he bring this upon himself by throwing it out there? Does he deserve to have his tongue sawn off? I think, as he said. Should that be the question? Does he deserve to have his tongue sawed off?
That would make it a lot trippier if that was the question. But I was trying to think of what is a better meter for this movie, and I guess that would be the disaster meter, where we pit this against Earthquake and all the airport movies. Hell, Airplane if you want, where does this
Okay.
go? And I feel like for me it's kind of a baseline at 2.5, but the fact that this is 1966 and we're getting so many things right makes me want to give it like a
Yeah.
3.5 for being a trailblazing. I guess
I,
Zero
I,
Hour would
I
come out 10 years earlier, but whatever.
yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, this it was. I don't think it was a, you know, it was a good movie. It had a decent twist to it, I think, with the bomb being packed in the captain's brain bag. I thought it was interesting. I don't think it got bogged down in love triangles and minutia going on in the cabin. Um,
Which is a
Pacing, I
charm
thought,
of those '70s movies, right?
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
at
yeah.
the same time, it's
Uh,
kind of nice to streamline that here.
yeah. The pacing I thought was pretty good. I didn't find myself reaching for a second screen or doing things. I actually, backed up a couple of times to make sure I caught, this or that correctly. So the the jargon was pretty good. The wearing your hat on the flight deck with the headphones over it is something that I heard guys did way back in the day. Um, Pulling your headphones and your hat off and having perfect hair. I was pretty jealous and impressed. That was impressive. Guarantee there's guys I fly with that could pull that off. And man, I think for the sort of the dawn of the jet age airline disaster movies, I mean, I put this up right up there with the best of the airport movies. Excuse me.
I
Um,
can throw the airplane ones in there too if you want.
yeah, and it obviously has, a lot of what made Airplane is based off of this kind of DNA.
This
So
one
as well
doesn't
as
have much
Zero
to make
Hour.
fun of, though, does it?
No, it doesn't.
They
What
like
the yeah, the sort of no nonsense isness of the air traffic controllers and the airline, like the chief pilot Shay, which like nobody ever calls their chief pilot and their last like it's just like I call mine Colin.
yeah, hey, in the '60s, though, you
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
know.
yeah. That's true.
These
But
guys
yeah,
been in
sort
World
of
War
that no
II, man.
nonsense. Yeah, I liked the relationship between the chief and the captain. 'Cause he was like, "All right, what do you got? Hey, this is what we got, but you got to do what you got to do. All right,
Functional
I
work
am the one up here."
relationships.
Yeah, it was like that was good, man. I think they must have had a pretty good handle on what what's what with the airlines. But I also said the same thing with the Odyssey of Flight 33. That rung very true, I thought.
It's hard to make fun of that, except for maybe the shot of dinosaurs, which was
Yeah, but
so
what
fun you
I
can't
mean,
make fun of it, you know?
but if I remember right, they bought that from somebody, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, I think it was
they
for
were
like the
probably
Lost
promised
World
a
or
much
something.
better. They're probably promised a much better dinosaur shot and just got what they got.
Oh, it was fantastic. I'm just like, there's something you make fun of there. Where nothing here. You can make a little bit of fun of John Saxon, especially considering that we know his later career, and that's about
Yeah,
it. So if I have a complaint about this, it's that it's not as stupid as '70s. It doesn't have Irwin Allen's stupid spectacle, right?
right.
Which
Yep, yep.
is that that's not really a problem? Question
Yeah,
mark. I do because it's like it's stupid. I like, right?
yeah, yep.
So this movie does not
That's it.
have that.
I was actually hoping this movie would be a lot more. Like I thought this movie was going to be when you threw the title to me, I was like, oh, this sounds awesome. And then when I started watching, I was like, no, I've seen this before. This is a good movie.
Damn it, Rod, you did a good job writing this. People are generally acting pretty well in it.
Yeah,
So, yeah, actually, yeah, this is a pretty good air disaster film as opposed, like if we're that's the thing, if we're doing a critical rating, this is way above, say, Airport or Airport 75. But if we're like going for like what I actually feel like watching, I'd be more
yeah,
likely to throw in one of those again, one of the '70s ones, just for
yep,
the fun factor and the
yeah.
crazy crazy factor.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be a good ambassador for my industry if I didn't point out the closing credits, tip of the hat to airline employees. This motion picture is dedicated to the men and women of the airlines and aircraft industry who have made commercial air travel the safest form of transportation in the history of mankind.
There we go,
I thought
speaking
that was
directly
yeah,
to you.
that kind of gave me chills. I was kind of like, ooh, this is uh, they're talking about people I work with.
That's right, because the rest of us
Yeah.
were just like, oh, that's nice. Any final thoughts you want to throw on this? I think I gotten through all of my notes for the most part. So,
Yeah, I got through my notes and yeah, man, had fun as always.
all right. What are you up to these days? I know we're in an Orville gap, although people can go back and listen to Mission Log the Orville, and
Yeah, please do.
especially if they haven't seen the Orville, they should watch it.
You know, I've had conversations with Seth MacFarlane and Brandon Braga, both over the last, you know, within the last couple of months. They're both busy working, other things that I think if one in particular comes to fruition, I think a lot of people are going to be really happy, not just fans of the Orville. But, you know, I'm being told repeatedly that season four is not an if, it's a when. And, so we're waiting for that to come back. I had a chance to host 3 episodes of Mission Log Live where we looked at Strange New Worlds, and to season two, which we did not cover due to the writers and actor strike. But we covered Subspace Rhapsody. And so I hosted that episode as well as a couple more season three episodes. And that was great fun because, it's a live show. All I got to do is kind of sit back and let the callers call in, and chat with those folks. And they're really, really smart and really, really funny. But Mission Log Live is a blast. And I had a chance to help out with that. And those are available as on YouTube as well as on whatever podcast app you use.
And over here, it's podcastiopodcastius.org. Of course, Time Enough Podcast is there. Mike, you're often there for Films and Filth, where we talk about a whole range of movies that are supposed to be real good and real bad. And yeah, stay tuned here. We're doing The Man with James Earl Jones next time, and then we're off to the Jordan Peele Twilight Zone for I guess that's 20 episodes. It won't take us too long, but be interesting to check those out. So, okay. I guess what do we do right before we land? Put the flaps up, put the flaps down. I don't know. I'll crash the plane.
It's so funny because they were calling out the altitudes, and remember, Denver, he said 5,250 feet, and then later he said 5,300 feet. But I think when the flight engineer called out 5,500 feet, the captain said, "Okay, flaps 50." Now my airplane goes to flaps 40. Maybe the older airplanes had 50 degrees of flap, which is, all that's going to do is add drag and, allow you to increase your descent rate without increasing your speed. But it sounds like they were coming in pretty fast. They can. Anyway, all I'm saying is that personally, I like to have all of my flaps set so I'm stabilized at 1,000 feet. I thought it was a little bit odd that they were doing that at 250 feet above the ground, but it's a disaster movie. You can use your captain's emergency authority in that way if you think it's your safest course of action.
Okay, put flaps at 47%. Dang it.
47%. Exactly right.
Degree. I should have said degree. Oh well.
Yeah, and then I'm told it's not. Like I used to say 30 degrees, and they were like, no, they're not degrees. They're just units. They're undefined units. And I'm like, okay. Also good to know.
I'm just gonna cut it there. Why not?
Yeah, cut it with Captain Mike's nerdy, pedantic flap lesson.
Well, I realized I was just gonna say, and I was like, oh, what I'm saying is not gonna make any sense whatsoever, right? So it probably
Yeah,
did need the explanation.
up until just a few years ago, I was like, you do the landing checklist, and it's landing gear, it's speed brakes armed, green light, landing gear down through green, flaps, whatever they out are, green light. So I always said 30 degrees green light or 40 degrees green light. Nobody ever corrected me, except I was flying with a friend of mine, and he was like, they're not degrees, right? And I was like,
Oh,
what?
they're not
It was,
okay. I
it
mean,
was like they're
okay.
they're they're not degrees. And then, not then, but later, like I pulled out our book on the iPad and looked at the checklist response, and I was like, it does not have degrees on there. I had been doing that. I and many other people have been doing that wrong for a long, long time. Yeah, not degrees.
Hmm. Sorry, I was looking for my browser closed and it did not ask me if I wanted to open my tabs up again because I was looking for my films and filth list. But Open old tabs. Delete? No, don't delete browsing data. I was just gonna. The things that I might buzz you about before too long are we're about to start the animated Planet of the Apes. We just finished doing seven. Well, we're about to finish doing Severance. So, um,
Nice. I did one of the TV episodes with you.
right. So now we're getting to the animated one.
No, I'm
Um,
not familiar at all. They available on YouTube or
Yeah, it's all on the, oh, at least
okay.
it was like last time I checked.
Yeah.
Um, filter your search history. Oh no. Sorry, I'm trying to look for my films and filth list and I seem to have lost my ability to easily find that. I have to work on that later. Anyway, yeah, we'll be doing that and like I just mentioned do you have interest in the Jordan Peele Twilight Zone? I've gotten yeses and nos for that question.
Um I mean I wouldn't mind throwing they do a version of Nightmare at 20,000 feet. I think it's called Nightmare at 30,000 feet.
Yes, that is correct.
If there's anything other, airline wise or anything, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen many of them. I think I've
I've
only
only seen a
seen,
couple. I stopped watching
yeah,
because I started doing this podcast. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, I was like, I should wait. Although I might actually bring Mark on for that, whatever 1,000 feet is for that version because we just did Severance and Scott Adam Scott. So, uh,
Okay.
I might actually bring Mark on for that one and get you on for get you out of the typecasting zone too, right? So.
Yeah. Nice.
You can talk about other things. I know that. So, but yeah, I'll get you about those before too long. So, oh,
Sounds
this
good.
is frustrating me that I can't find my list. Oh no, I'm gonna have to ask for it again, I think. New
All
folder.
right. Boeing flaps are typically measured in degrees of deployment, with common settings being 1, 5, 10, 30, and 40. Though these numbers are standardized values on the flap handle and not precise real world angles. These settings correlate to different levels of wing surface extension, with higher numbers indicating greater extension to increase lift for takeoff and landing. So
Oh,
this says the unit of measurement is angle, is degrees, but that they're not really degrees.
okay.
Yeah. And our book says don't respond to the checklist with degrees. It's just 30, you know, 1, 5, 10, 30, 40. Now my engineer brain has a meltdown when somebody throws a number at me without a unit.
Yeah. Oh, as an English teacher, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like somebody if somebody says to me like even like perfect context, um, throws a number out there, I'm like, I don't know what you mean. Like, 72,
No,
walk out, whatever.
that's a major pet peeve for English teachers because kids will
Yeah,
throw out
good.
numbers with nothing, or they'll give the wrong one because they're learning English. If they mean 3 minutes and then they say 3 weeks, it can be confusing. So
Yeah, yeah, hours instead of days.
yeah, yeah,
I, I just
that's
I
totally
just
what
I
happens.
just watched Star Trek 2 the other day for the first time in a few years probably, and I enjoyed it, but it's one of the things that I kind of noticed for the first time was based on Star Trek,
Well, yeah,
where it
Roddenberry's
said that
basically kicked out the door at that point, right?
he was. Yeah. So, and that's kind of where you get things like Kirk's a cheater, Kirk's a liar, and I'm just like, yeah, this is kind of where everything changed.
But you got the motion picture, which I love, to be fair, but there's like
Yeah.
they're barely characters in that movie, Like Kirk is,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a little petulant, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And and he's a little
He's
petulant, isn't
insecure.
he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's insecure. It takes him a little while to show a little vulnerability because he's doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. So he needs the help. Um, yeah, it's
And I keep maintaining the fact that they added bridge noises to the bridge 2 years ago made the movie like twice as good. Just you need a
nobody.
soundscape. David Lynch knew that. You got to have a
I
good
don't think any.
soundscape.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would argue with that. Yeah, I mean the movie just wasn't done when it was released.
Yeah, yeah, sound is
Yeah,
important. And
uh-huh.
the
And
weird thing is
that.
once they recolor timed, I'm like, oh, there are red shirts in this movie. It's like kind of a
Yeah,
deep red, but it's like, oh, we actually
yeah,
do have all three colors in this movie, and I know that
yeah.
that was never the case in the past. So it was
No, I
kind of
know, and it's.
nice to
I
see that.
think I think that's gone from like my least favorite Trek movie to my favorite one.
Wasn't my favorite.
Over the evolution.
Yeah, it
Um,
might be. Yeah, Luke said when we covered it a long time ago, the more old and boring I get, the more I like the motion picture.
Actually, I think it's just such a good journey of self-discovery, for V'ger, for Decker, for Kirk, for Spock. Um, and I think I saw it in the movies when I was like 12 and never saw it again
That's the
until I
only
was in
one I haven't seen in the movie theater.
yeah.
That's
And
just too
then
bad.
I watched it in grad school. I got like the VHS tape from the public library, and it's sort of like, okay, I'm trying to figure out who I am in grad school. These people are trying to figure out who they are, and it just clicked at that point.
Although my most recent viewing, I finally got around to watching because it didn't show in Japanese theaters. I saw the Liam Neeson Naked Gun, so that's a lot of fun. If you
Oh
haven't
yeah,
seen that, yeah.
Jess and her boyfriend came to. They were driving from Chicago, from India up to Chicago, so they stopped by here, and they can't, and we went to see it. So
Yeah, because
I
the
thought it was
trailer, I was going
okay.
around. I liked it
Yeah,
pretty well. I was laughing out jokes from the
yeah,
trailer, and then I mean, it's the best
yeah,
movie ever. No, I just had a. It's I guess it's just like there's so few like big comedies anymore. When you get one
yeah.
that's like any good, you're like just laughing
Right.
it up,
Yeah.
So because
I
and
got
then
had a few good I thought it was very true to the Leslie Nielsen franchise. Even insofar as like that scene where fucking Pamela Anderson's cleaning the oven
oh yeah,
and
yeah.
Liam Neeson standing there like I'm just crying. And that could have been in any one of you know what I mean? Like that just fit perfectly into it.
But it was nice because the director is a Lonely Island guy, so I go he did the
Yeah.
Pop Star movie several years ago,
Hmm.
and well, we was in it, right? And Hot Rod, which I've actually never seen, but people love that, so I need to watch it.
You know what? I saw Hot Rod the first time and I was like, meh. And then I saw it like 3 years ago and I thought it was fucking awesome.
It might have just been
So
like humor needed to like
yeah, just
metamorphosize a
mood
little bit.
or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know, but I thought it was so good. Um, yeah, yeah. Hit me up for if you got any ideas that I can help out.
And you're in your new house now, are you?
I am, yeah.
Is that where is that?
Lafayette, Indiana.
Ah, okay. Just trying to work out.
Yeah.
What time
You want
zone
me
is
to?
that? Is that still
Uh,
Eastern?
yeah, it is. We are right on the edge of the eastern. Yeah,
Okay.
like 45 minutes from here is
Just when I'm asking for podcast times, it's useful to know if I should probably
yeah.
put the Central or the
Yep,
Eastern.
yeah. Just think of me as being on New York time.
Okay.
But if you got a second, I'll share where we're at. Which is get out of there. So zooming out. Chicago up here, Indianapolis, Atlanta, way down here
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
somewhere. There it is.
No,
So
I'm pretty much a map savant, so.
okay, gotcha. So Chicago, you got Lafayette right here. That's where Purdue University is.
Mm-mm.
And then we are this little heart down here, which is we actually have a Lafayette mailing address, which is I think insane. So then you see our house start to show up, and we live on this airstrip or this fly-in community. So this is a grass runway right here.
Airstrip
It's
one.
it's it's got a road next to it. So there's our house has not made Google Maps yet, but we have this lot right here with these trees behind it. So you can kind of see it's like a triangle shape,
Hmm.
and this creek kind of runs through our backyard. And our house is like right here. And I come down the driveway and I taxi this way. And I get on the runway and I take off and I go, and I land.
Yeah, I guess it's nice to be able to fly out of your house.
Yeah, it's fun. I kind of forget how to make Google Maps angly. You know what I
It's
mean?
the compass, and then you have to hit a reset. Oh, you mean how to actually turn it? Oh, oh, I just did
Oh,
it,
you
so
mean you know what I
now
mean?
now
So
it's
that you're
okay.
looking at so that you can get perspective kind of thing.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, but this is the Purdue Airport right
Oh,
here.
there it goes. Okay.
Right there. So yeah, so that's there. We had lunch like right over here today, just kind of on the southern end of Lafayette. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's it would be it's shortened my drive to Chicago from 3 hours to like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
That still sounds
Um,
long to me.
yeah,
Going Japan drives are just like almost always. People are like, "Oh, gas costs so much here." I'm like, "Yeah, but you don't
yeah,
drive very far, you know?"
yeah, yeah. If it was like equidistant north of Lafayette, but it's a lot more boring up here though. Like there's
Mm.
like, at least down here we have, some creeks and some trees and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of like where I live. It's not quite city, not quite country, not quite a resort, but you can drive 30 minutes and be in like resort areas. I mean, mountain resort area. It's like, I
Yeah.
could get to a ski resort within 30 minutes. I don't ski.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, we moved in May. So you're gonna be in Atlanta when?
Next week. So,
Okay. And you're saying like the 18th, something like that.
yeah,
Yeah, I
if
think
if
I'll,
you have me passing through, I guess basically it would be like the 14th or 16th would be the days to
okay.
pass through.
So
You
that'd be
okay?
like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
I'll
you
take a
have me
peek.
passing.
I'm actually I'm not off from work. I'm doing some office days, but I'm doing them from home.
Um,
So
and the
that gives me a
situation,
certain amount of
when you
freedom.
don't go home for 15 years, you realize because 15 years, all vacations, I just like am in complete control of, right? So,
Yeah.
you go home, it's like, oh, even when my parents come, it's like, oh, I pick them up from the hotel. I'm like, we're going here, I'm driving here, and you do find when you go back home after 15 years, it's like, oh, I'm not completely in control of this trip, am I?
No, I always thought how nice it'd be to like go out to Long Island and not let like any family know I'm going to be there because we actually do what we want.
Yeah, the development and the reason I haven't been like I guess more proactive is now my 78-year-old aunt's going to be there the entire
Yeah.
time, so I'm taking around three people that or they're taking me around, but yeah, the
Hmm.
crew is now myself, my daughter, and three people that can't walk so well.
All right, sounds good.
But anyway, my thought if you do have me passing through, I don't know if it's possible to take a MARTA train, like go to Trader Vic's or something, because that's the
Yeah.
destination I want to hit when I'm in Atlanta if I can, because Atlanta has one of the few functioning Trader Vic's still around. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, yeah.
Good deal.
So
Alrighty, I'll let you know. I'll hit you up on Discord.
okay, I
All
will
right, thanks,
catch you
Matt.
later then. Bye.
Cool. Have a great night. Bye.